I actually have a co-host of the show.
Yes.
Jessica Kirkner, please introduce yourself to people.
It's Jessica Kirker, actually.
Kirker. All right, let's try that again.
That's all right.
Already screwed up. The producer's over here laughing.
You'll get it. It's okay. You'll get it.
Excellent. All right. We'll
Kirker,
try that again.
Kirker.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 2 of the Thurston Talk podcast. My name is Philip Kerrigan. I am joined by Jessica Kirker, a new realtor here at Sotheby's International Realty. Jessica, say hello to everybody.
Well, hello. I am very excited to be here.
Yeah.
I know Sotheby's International Realty has been at the top of my list of brokerages to work with, so I'm really excited to be part of this team and the community here because they kind of go together as we're here doing this podcast and connecting with you guys.
Yeah, I think it's awesome to have someone come onto the show who is interested in being a part of these community discussions and learning more about it. So thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of it.
Yeah, I've been in this industry since 2015, and this is the first time I've been with a team that is so excited to be part of the community and get the word out on events and bring everyone together. So
super cool.
I'm over the moon.
Awesome. So Jessica, can you talk a little bit about yourself? Give us a little bit of your history. How'd you come into to real estate, and then what makes you interested in doing podcasts?
Oh man. Okay. Well, I'll give you the short end of it here. Got started in real estate in 2015, mainly because I became a mom and wanted to have a flexible schedule at the time.
Yep.
But I really grew into loving it. I absolutely love getting families into homes and giving them some top tier service. And as the industry has changed and I've got more experience, I've got really excited about the video and the podcast and kind of integrating that into my business and into the community to just partner with everyone. And it makes my job so much more fun and easy just to be the voice that people listen to and come to for information. Yeah. And then when the time strikes that they may need to buy a house, I can help them with that as well. But it's just makes my life fun, right?
Yeah,
you can't go wrong with that. You know, who wants to go to 9 to 5 and beat their head on their desk, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we are excited to really. This is the first episode that we are rolling out here that actually highlights one of these community events that we have kind of talked about in our first episode. First episode, we talked to everybody about, what we're going to be trying to do here. And the biggest goal of the Thurston Talk podcast is to really highlight the people, places, and events that make this area so special. One of those is the Tumwater Brewfest.
One of my favorite.
Yeah, which we actually had an opportunity to sit down with Lee Warnier. He is the chief marketing officer for Obee Credit Union, but they're the main sponsors of the Tumwater Brewfest. And he talked about how they put it all together and just really went through some pretty fascinating pieces of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I had no idea some of the stories and facts that he had for us.
Yeah,
so.
He hits us with the Clint Eastwood story halfway
That's
through.
my favorite. So
that was unbelievable. Yeah. Have you ever been to Tumwater Brewfest?
I did. I only been once, a few years back, pre-COVID times.
Sure.
But it was amazing, and I highly recommend that you guys go too because there's so many, especially this year, as you'll hear, there's so many vendors there, and it's just such a good time. Even if you don't drink beer, there's food. You can just walk around and connect with the people in your community. Yeah. So
it's unbelievable. The way he was talking, how it's went from 1,000 people-ish to, thousands of people is pretty unbelievable. Are you a beer drinker, wine drinker? What is the unwinding drink of choice?
I do like a good cider. Nothing too sweet though, for sure. And then I'm a little classy. I like a glass of champagne. Okay. It's usually my go-to, but I don't think they have that there. So you'll see me at the cider probably.
Nice. That's awesome. What sort of cider do you like? Is it apple mostly, like the apple crisp?
Yeah, I've ventured off quite a few times, but I've always came back just a nice, crisp, light, refreshing apple. Yeah. We live in Washington after all.
It's perfect, right?
Yeah.
The Tumwater Brewfest is this coming Saturday. Lee goes through all the details of the Brewfest, all the exciting things that are happening with it. and kind of hits us with some really interesting facts about the Brewfest as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, spoiler alert, there's also trivia.
Cover your ears.
Yeah. There's also trivia, which Jessica killed it on. Congratulations.
I was pretty impressed with myself.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So.
That's pretty good. You're ready to do some pub style trivia tonight. So anyway, we're going to roll into that interview with Lee Warnier, the Chief Marketing Officer for Obee, here to talk about the Tumwater Artesian Brewfest, and here it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We are here with Lee Warnier.
Yes, that's correct.
And he is the Chief Marketing Officer, among other things, of Obee Credit Union. I'm sure we're going to go through a few of these things. Lee, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
So, Lee, we're not here to talk about Obee Credit Union yet. One day we'll have you on and we'll talk about Obee Credit Union. But what we're here for is a really exciting thing, which is the Tumwater Artesian Brewfest.
Yeah, we're really excited this year.
Which you're a part of.
We are a part of.
Can you talk a little bit about the role?
Well, yeah. First of all, Obee actually stands for Olympia Beer. People don't know that. You know, we are
I had no idea.
We were formed in the Bottle House A of the Olympia Brewery. Yeah. And that's, and that's our history. Yeah. So that's why we can do the cool things that we can do. So we're sponsoring this. We've been the main sponsor since 2014. So next year will be the 10th anniversary of the Tumwater Brewfest. And it's grown over the years. It's immense. And you're going to have food. Right now there's 30 to 40 breweries and distilleries coming. Mm-hmm. I saw a list, and it's going to be a really exciting time. A lot of food. But what I've heard is from all the brewers out there, this is the place to be. And because it's so laid out. It's in the driving range of the old Olympia Brewery, or in the shadows of the old Olympia Brewery. And actually, the golf course was donated by the Olympia Brewery.
Oh, wow.
So it was. So a lot of people didn't know this. Yeah.
cool.
Another thing is I'm also part of the Olympia Tumwater Foundation, and that was also established at the brewery. Wow. And the reason why they established the foundation is for the Tivoli fountains to make a donation to the state. So those Tivoli fountains out front was from my organization, from the foundation. So you can see this. There's all this connection between Obee, Brewfest, and
all sort of the classic.
It's all tied together. Yeah. And this year, of course, it's the city of Tumwater puts it on, and then the businesses and a lot of sponsorships, and we couldn't do without all the sponsors. But we were one of the first sponsors when it came on board in 2014. Yeah. Really exciting. A lot of great breweries right now.
I know. I'm really excited this year to go. I know I've missed out the last few years because we were out of state for a little while, but we're back, and I'm excited to check it out again.
Yeah, even just coming out of the pandemic. Have you been there?
I have a few years back, and it was really amazing. Like you were saying, it's very much the place to be if you're a brewer or even if you're just in the community and you want to check out all the spots that you can. They all come together, and it's amazing. So I definitely advise going.
After the pandemic has left, and now all these people want to get together, and it's just a wonderful place. Yeah. And it's an event for all. Yeah. You have to be over 21, of course.
Right. We recommend it.
That's a good recommendation. I don't think you can get at the gate, but the thing is they have a lot. They'll have live music. They have a lot of games. They have it's cornhole. And a lot of it's stuff for adults to do too. Yeah. So they actually have you take a ticket, and they have the golf ball drop from a helicopter, and it closes the hole.
Wow.
Yeah, so they have that too, and that's usually in the beginning.
Wow. I have never heard of that.
A chopper out to Tumwater Brewfest.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun to go out and enjoy, and plus it's a tasting from most of the breweries in the Washington and Oregon area. Yeah. And of course, then you have the ciders and the vodkas,
which are my favorite, the ciders.
Yeah. The cider.
The cider.
Also, Olympia vodka is going to be there. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So they're
I
going
didn't
to
even know we had an Olympia vodka.
Yes, it's the water.
Oh my
gosh,
that's crazy. Yeah. So Lee, let's go back a little bit to the beginning.
Sure.
Of Tumwater Brewfest. Can you walk us through a little bit, give us a little bit of the history of how this whole thing even started? When did it start? What were sort of its humble beginnings?
The humble beginning, it was Chuck Denny from the city of Tumwater and we met with them, and they wanted to pour forth because they wanted to promote the brewery district in Tumwater, which is very important, because then that's kind of started that momentum. You actually have now a brewery there, and you also have a distillery. I think it's Heritage is there now, and there's a tasting room, and you can see it's expanding.
Yeah.
So it's the first kind of revival of the area, keeping it back. And that's what we're trying to do. Even at the park, we want to renovate the park. We want to do all this because it's an eyesore. We all know that.
Right.
But we actually have to embrace this and start making change slowly. And it's really important as we move forward. And this is just part of that, you know, and that rebuilding of Tumwater and that you know, what we were famous for. I know a lot of people didn't know Olympia Beer was in multiple films.
It was, yeah.
You know, from The Graduate and Clint Eastwood and, you know, Jack Nicholson and the Blues Brothers.
Right.
It goes on, and it's very nostalgic.
How many vendors roughly would you say were there when it first kind of started? If you were to take a ballpark guess.
Probably like 20 breweries and then a few food vendors. It was kind of light.
Yeah.
And then they tried different things over the years. First they tried just regular music, and then they found that live music is really good too.
Right,
So
yeah.
I think they're sticking with that because it's kind of a fun vibe. It started around 1,000 people at most, and then it's like several thousands of people now after 10, you know, close to 10 years in the area.
Cool. So cool.
But another reason for it is, and I think this year's is going to be outstanding, is because there's two other breweries, the Brewfest, that actually aren't coming to fruition. Is because the one in downtown Percival Landing, the Olympia Brewfest, and the one up at Marymore Park closed, and then one also in Oregon. They're not doing it this year for some reason. So having that, this is going to be a greater need now for people coming to this Brewfest.
Yeah, so
it's going to be really
if you're
exciting.
looking for a Brewfest, this is the one to
is
go
the
to.
one.
It sounds like, right?
Corridor,
Right on
Yes.
I-5, easy
Yeah.
access. You go on and off. It's really easy, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So walk us through how this works. Do people have to buy tickets? Can they just come down? How does it work?
Well, several ways. You can buy tickets online soon because I think they're 30, and at the gate they're 35. And I think volunteers, if you're not going to be drinking and you're going to just, you know, be a sober driver, I think it's like $15.
Okay.
So.
And you mentioned volunteers. Can folks volunteer to be a part of this, or do they have to
Yes.
go through an organization?
Well,
How
they
does that
probably
work?
have to go through the organization, the city of Tumwater. They'll look for the volunteers there
Okay.
too. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now, do they run out of tickets? Do you have to like hurry up and?
No, well, I think, you know, they'd like to get as many people as they want because
Yeah.
the more money, and then it's that, you know, scale that you get. The more people you have,
Absolutely.
the more money they'll make. And of course, I think last year they ran out of quite a beer. I mean, it was quite festive.
they really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go early.
Yeah, go early because you're just getting all the not bad beer, but not your, I guess, you know, it's your favorite taste of certain types.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm a Mac and Jack guy.
Yeah.
You know, that's my favorite beer. I'm not an IPA, but and believe it or not, I do like Oly, but I like Oly for making pancakes. So
Oh,
really?
Interesting.
yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but if you have if you can find it, I think it's brewed right now in Canada, so you have to get it imported. And of course, Well 80, you know, they actually have.
They have their original 64.
Yeah,
That's right.
so
Which
they,
is the fancy pants way of saying.
yes, they can't use the name.
You're right.
So, but Pabst has that locked down, which was fine. And they kind of, and we were working with them also. So we used to have Pabst part of the Brewfest too.
Today's episode of the Thurston Talk podcast is brought to you by Olympic Sotheby's International Realty. Olympic Sotheby's International Realty was founded in 2005 as the Green Realty Group and has been proudly serving home buyers and sellers in our community ever since. With more than 45 brokers and a team of dedicated full-time staff, Olympic SIR is here to help you with your real estate needs in Olympia and beyond. What sets Olympic Sotheby's International Realty apart is that you are not just another transaction to the brokers here at Olympic SIR. Their focus is spending time with you so that you feel comfortable throughout the entire real estate transaction. The motto of Olympic Sotheby's International Realty is as unique as the Northwest, and they live this sentiment every day. Their brokerage was founded locally and houses people who care about their community, which means you will have an advocate you can trust. Find an agent or start perusing local properties today at www.olympicsir.com and make sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram. And now, back to the show. All right, folks, welcome back. Thank you for coming back to the show. We're here with Lee Warnier and Jessica joining us to talk a little bit about Tumwater Brewfest, which is coming this Saturday down at the Tumwater Brewery area. Before we get back into kind of some of the things that folks can expect this year, I have some trivia.
All right, we're ready.
Okay. Now, this is what I like to call the 6-pack of questions. Get that? Get what I did there?
Yeah.
I know.
He's
not
good.
that
He's
good.
really good.
All right, here we go. We're going to start with an easy one, low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
Low-hanging fruit. Here we go. What beer, the flagship brand of the Boston Beer Company, was named after a U.S. founding father?
Samuel Adams.
There you go. Look at that. You're already 1 for 1. Here we go. Heineken owns Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma Brewing, the parent company of what beer repped by the most interesting man in the world?
Dos Equis.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know
commercials?
I do.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
were awesome. Which brand of beer, question number 3, which brand of beer defied the recent negative connotations of its name to see a 13% increase in profits last year, putting it 63rd on Forbes 100 Most Valuable Brands of 2022?
Oh.
Miller Lite.
Corona.
Corona.
I did have
You know,
a
it's
little-
actually
there.
Mexican beers are
think there were some
outselling
Corona
U.S.
parties,
Yeah.
yeah.
Corona. Had a tough little connotation there for a couple years. Okay, here we go. So we're 2 for 3. Pretty good. A fan threw a beer can and damaged the World Series trophy at a 2018 victory parade in which city? It's got to be one of those. Think about like those East Coast cities.
New York,
you know, they're a little
maybe?
intense over there about their
Boston.
Boston.
Yes.
Damn,
All
you're
right.
good. Yeah.
sports. All right, 2 more. Here's our 5th one.
Okay.
What is the nautical name of the San Francisco brewery that was founded in 1896 on the Portero Hill neighborhood? One of the last remaining breweries to produce California common beer. San Francisco Brewery. It's like their classic.
Anchor?
Go down there. Anchor Brewing
Beer.
Company. Well done, Lee.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, Lee's
Bringing
on
it home for us there.
All right. Final one. Very easy. Low-hanging fruit. Here we go. What company claims their name is Australian for beer?
I know
You guys remember
this.
this?
I do. It's right there.
Yeah.
Australian for beer.
Yes.
That's like my Australian accent. You remember?
Yeah.
Foster's.
Foster's.
Remember they
Yeah.
had the
Yes.
big old can in the
Yes.
commercial?
Yes.
They'd bang it
I've
down.
never had it, but I do remember the
also-
commercial.
We got to throw a trivia one at him.
Oh, we should.
Oh.
Do you have one?
I don't.
Okay.
Are
Do you have
you
one?
ready?
What beer
Mhm.
did Clint Eastwood show off in Which Way But Loose?
That's a good one.
Uh,
Do 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 do.
I don't
do,
know. Was
do,
it-
do.
maybe Olympia because you're
Exactly right. Yes, it is. Boom. You got it.
Olympia
Yes, it is.
Beer.
Yes.
I can't believe that. You were mentioning all the movies that
Yeah.
Olympia Beer's been in. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, do you want to hear the Clint Eastwood
Yeah.
story?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the cool thing. So a lot of people don't know this, that Clint Eastwood lived in Seattle. And he used to commute down to San Diego, Los Angeles, and so on. And his father was actually selling product to breweries on the east side of Washington.
Yeah.
So they commuted, but he always stopped in once in a while. But then he was in L.A., and the members of, and he was like a struggling actor. And he said, hey, you know, there's a golf outing there, and he wanted to get in. So the people from the executives from Olympia Beer invited him in.
Yeah.
To this event, and he gave him
awesome.
food, free Olympia beer, and he said thank you. And he never charged them for products placement of Olympia beer in his movies.
No way.
But it gets better. So I reached out to Clint Eastwood and his agent, and I said, hey, you know, we're Olympia Beer. You know, the brewery closed.
Yeah.
We'd like to use your image on our welcome postcard.
Yeah.
Here in downtown Olympia. And of course, you know, went back and forth and I didn't hear anything. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
yes. He says like,
That's amazing.
yes, you can use it. I says, well, what does he want to charge? He says, he's absolutely nothing. He says, not only he's not going to charge you, he wrote a letter on my behalf for Obee to the movie studio saying, allow this credit union use my image from your film for us to use. Isn't
What?
that kind of cool? And that's kind of gentleman.
That means a lot. He
Yeah.
helped
So
a
we actually,
lot,
to this
yeah.
day, we still use his image on our welcome postcard when you join Obee Credit Union. So we're all connected.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Man.
But
Yeah.
here's the other flip side of it. I want to reach out because there's also a Jack Nicholson famous photo of him holding Olympia beer. Doran once flew over a cuckoo's nest.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
I
So it's
didn't know that.
So Jack said, let's just say bleep bleep no.
Oh.
And if you do, I'm going to sue you. So there's two contrasts of these two personalities.
I know which movies I'm watching.
Yeah, I know, right? We're
But-
blacklisting. Jack
Yeah,
Nicholson.
but it's really interesting that all these little, nuggets of history that has
Pretty cool
happened,
that
and then
Clint
our
Eastwood did
reach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
it's
super
It's a
cool.
lot of fun.
Pretty cool. As we wrap up here, Lee, want to talk a little bit about the Brewfest that is happening this Saturday. What time does it open?
Official kickoff is at 1.
Okay.
So we get in and we set up the night before, the day before, and then it goes to 8 p.m.
Okay. What can folks kind of expect from this year's Brewfest? When does the live music kind of start? Is it all day? A different sort of
Well, it's
games?
mostly all day, but they have some live. There's a 2:30 band coming on. There's a 4:30, and then there's a Stein holding contest, which is a lot of fun. If you ever seen that,
What is
I think
that?
I gave you a
Yeah,
photo.
yeah,
So
we'll have to show that.
you-
We'll
and
show the photo.
You have to sign up at the Obee booth, and you get these some prizes and a little trophy, and say you can hold the.
How long do folks usually? What's the?
I've seen like 2, maybe 3 minutes holding a Stein full of water, and their
I'm
arms
sure
are
that's
shaking.
way harder than it sounds.
It is.
It has to be.
It
You have to
is.
like lose feeling in your arm after about a minute.
Or 2.
Yeah.
And then you can see people just bailing out,
Yeah.
but it's actually goes on pretty well, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm not going to mess with this person.
That is fantastic. Well, again, folks, we want to invite you to go down and be a part of it. This really is becoming one of the biggest things that happen here towards the end of the summer here in the Olympia Tumwater area. And it sounds like, based on what you're seeing, Lee, it might be one of the biggest things that's happening kind of here in the Western Washington.
Oh yeah,
area
it's
at this
happening
point.
soon. It's coming. Yeah, it's
So
great.
it's a really neat little event for people to take a little pride in, go out and have some fun and connect with folks and get a chance to learn some of the breweries around here that make up the tapestry of our beer world. We actually have a pretty cool, robust sort of beer market here, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So Lee, we want to just thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you
and
for the
sharing
invite.
the story of Brewfest and what you guys are doing.
Yeah, a lot more to come.
Awesome. Thanks,
So
Lee.
thank you very much for having us.
All right, so that was our interview with Lee. Fascinating stuff about the Tumwater Brewfest. Again, Tumwater Brewfest is this Saturday for folks who want to try and make it out. We sure hope we get a chance to see you there. It sounds like it'll be quite the party.
Yeah, I am very excited.
Are you gonna go?
Absolutely.
There
So
we go,
yeah, make
people.
sure you come out and say hi if you see me walking around.
There you go. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for listening today and tuning into the podcast. Talk a little bit about the Tumwater Brewfest. We will see you in a couple weeks.